Good morning, Anna. Welcome everyone to our Carers Learning Set. We have got a new name for them, but I can't sort of think off the top of my head what we're going to call them because it was quite long-winded. And today's session, we have got the lovely Penny Norris from our organisation, who's going to be talking about the carers coaching project, and has got a presentation for that. And then later on, we'll be joined by Yvonne Hammond-Powell, who's a service manager for Tuvida, who will talk about Tuvida and how it sort of works throughout West Sussex. Anna, will you be giving an update later on? Any? Yep. Okay. I'm here until about 11:45, and then I'm going off to Tangmere. So I shall leave you with everyone else. So Penny, are you happy for me to hand the reins over to you and I'll get the presentation up, or did you want to do your introduction first?
No, you can do that. I can waffle in the introduction with the slides.
No problem. Right. And remember sound.
Yeah, don't forget that little mic. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mike. And hello to everybody. I'm Penny Norris. I'm the carer coach coordinator of our small coaching team, which is 3 coaches, myself, Diane Durkin, and Tor Walmsley even. And we've got the exciting job of actually getting the carer coaching up and running, and we're now in just into our 6th month, so it's really exciting to be able to sort of explain to outside agencies and to people like yourselves what exactly this looks like for carers, and then of course how you can actually refer carers into the organisation so that they can access it at the moment, because it is only open to carers that are registered with Carer Support West Sussex. My background is I've been qualified as a coach for the last 18 years, and one of the things that I would like to do or wanted to do was to work for an organisation that paid me for doing coaching and the individuals didn't have to. Well, it's only taken me 18 years, but I'm doing it. So tenacity is one of the things we do talk about in coaching. You might not get a quick fix and it might not be immediate, but if you stay at it and you keep it as some of the values that you want in your life, you can actually get there. So welcome to Carer Coaching. This presentation will just show you a little bit about what carer coaching looks like for carers when we're delivering it from there. So I'm going to tell you where we've been and where we are now, and then just to give you some more information. So we were very lucky to gain some time in a pilot and some funding within the pilot to be able to deliver a pilot to prove, if you like, what carer coaching was about. This was an organisational. Sorry, Mike, it's not working. It's not gone forward for some reason. You have to click the. There we go. Thank you. That's it, grand stuff. So we'd had a very successful pilot scheme, which was funded to run alongside our main contract. In that, we were bringing coaching conversations into our colleagues, so helping carers to, when we were speaking to carers in our wellbeing conversations, we were taking a more coaching approach from that, and that went really well. And then we were thinking about how else can we get coaching to carers. So the pilot consisted of some online coaching modules and also some face-to-face modules. And we did this all the time working with our carers, so the carers had a voice right the way through from the beginning, what they felt it should look like, even to the words that we were using, because we can get carried away with using some coachy words, and words like goal and smart don't mean anything to carers. So it was, let's look at this, how we can do that. So we held online and in-person coaching, so there was literally a long session. So they had, I think there was about 16 sessions that carers actually took part in online, and face-to-face groups we just did one lot of 4, and that was brilliant. And so we had 50 carers attend in that period. I was very lucky to have a volunteer who was also a trained coach, so he really helped me to get on board with delivering it online, and it was so successful that when we had the outside evaluation done, they looked around and had to search for things that were negative, and they couldn't really find anything negative. So they just did a bit of digging a bit deeper, and they said all that did was improve what they already had. So it was outstandingly had made a massive impact on people and was really taken on board by the carers. All the carers who were involved in the pilot project were so engaged and so motivated, even when I started throwing lots and lots of surveys at them. They were brilliant. They just took it on board and filled them in for us because they wanted it to work as well. So that pilot with the evaluation enabled us to be able to put in a bid to the big lottery. And so we were successful in that bid. And so we have got funding right the way through to 2027, delivering carers, coaching to carers in that sort of format, online and face to face across both our south and north areas. So the common themes that came out of this, really, we had different demands on their time. Carers were from all different caring backgrounds. It didn't matter whether it was somebody with autism, a child or a young adult, or somebody who was dementia. They all seem to link together, but there's some themes there that actually came out. I won't read them out to you, but they were the one that really strikes home to me was it made them feel like they were lost. They were just a carer. There weren't Penny or Mike or Caroline anymore. They were just carer to whomever it was, and were feeling quite lost. And things that they did for themselves were just not happening because they weren't prioritizing themselves. So, a lot of what we've been doing is really sort of getting people to give that permission to themselves to take time and to actually realize the importance of their well-being running alongside their caring role. We sadly don't have that beautiful magic wand to make their caring role any better, but we do try and help them to have a bit of a life alongside it. So if they've got a bit of joy and a bit of things that they're enjoying doing, whatever that may be, returning to work or just having some me time and not being on guard the whole time, that can make the journey a little bit less bumpy. It can make the caring role a little bit less overwhelming. And this is feedback from carers. So this is tried and tested, if you like. And we've also got life after caring. So you may need time to recover and refocus. And we've had people say, I just don't know who I am anymore. I've been doing this job for the caring role for 15 years. They've now passed away and I don't know what to do. I'm just completely stuck. So with the right timing and the right way to take into account bereavement and being sensitive to situations, coaching can really help people refocus on themselves and get some time back for themselves. But also we said we'd kept the voice of the carer right through it. And the times they asked us, what's coaching? What does coaching mean? And it's like, well, we can't change that word because that word is coaching, and that's how it is. But we did come up with a little nifty animation, which we hope you'll enjoy watching. And it might say in the words that I'm not using that helps you understand it. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Wonderful. So we hope you enjoyed that, and that it gives you a little bit more information in a way that carers approved, that they liked it. It was a good approach, and it just sort of says what it is, if you like. But what does that look like for us? So when we're coaching the carers, so we've designed and delivering 5 sessions of face-to-face or online groups. So they are every quarter. We'll do 2 face-to-face groups. We'll do 2 online groups as well. We do information sessions, which tell carers exactly what I'm telling you now, and then they can decide if they want to self-enroll and be involved that way. So that enables to open the door from that side of things. So the one-to-one bespokes either by phone, face-to-face, or online. And you don't have to do one or the other. That's one of the things that we said. If you did the information session, it feeds really nicely into a group session. At the end of the group session, that might feed really nicely into one-to-one, and you'll have a better understanding of what to expect from the one-to-one having done the group. However, it may be that going into a group, either online or face-to-face, would scare a carer because they're literally at home most of the time. So we have got this ability to reach out in different ways. So there's the telephone, there is online, and we can also we've had carers coming for one-to-one coaching to build up their self-confidence to be able to attend the group. So, you know, if we can make it available to people, and we can make people see that it's gentle and it's safe, and it's just a different way of thinking about things and doing things, then it is around that. So the emphasis really is, and this Ty said yours, but it's a carer side. It is about making the carer aware of some of the resilience that they actually already hold, some of the self-confidence and the experiences that they have, re-looking at some of their successes and identifying where they've been successful before, and just gently reminding themselves of how much they've actually achieved and how much they've done. A lot of work, though, I have to say, is about stressing that importance of your own well-being and putting it a little bit higher in your priority list. If you can't get it to the top, you may be able to get it just a little bit higher than it actually is now, because otherwise you'll end up feeling burnt out, resentful, and overwhelmed more of the time. So that is the way that we actually look at it there, and that's where the focus has been on these first few sessions that we've done already. So we're working towards reducing the feelings of being stressed or anxious. And that can have such a really positive thing about about the caring role. It's about how you're perceiving yourself within that role and looking at that. So it is a very personal and bespoke way of working. And it's not focused on the cared for. It is focused on the carer. And so that takes a little bit of time to do a switch when you're automatically talking about the cared for. Everything's about the cared for. Your waking breath is about the cared for somebody to ask you sincerely, together, supported in a safe space, to think about yourself can be quite it can be quite frightening, but it can also lead to some epiphanies where people think, okay, I can see this now, and it's like getting out, climbing up out of that lost bit. So yeah, so you don't know until you try, really. So thank you, Mike. Next one, please. So what do the sessions look like? So although coaching is very bespoke and we're looking at different ways of working, we are working to a program plan. And this program plan, again, was tested in the pilot and used in the pilot and has been tweaked from that. One of our carers, who's now a volunteer supporting the coaching, actually said, it was good, but this is gooder. If you excuse my bad English, to quote them, this is gooder. She said it really is different because we've put all of our learnings together and just tweaked it on. And the beauty is we can continue to do so. So we have the session plans. We have the 5 different titles on there. So it takes you through a journey. And what we do is we use the coaching models that are appropriate for that part of the journey. However, once the group dynamics is set up and the group are working, there will come, either it will become visible what the actual group goal would be, and with individuals, you work with them to get what their intentions and the promises they can make to themselves. So that's what we would call goals, as in coaching. It's about being goal driven and outcomes. For carers, they don't like that word. It doesn't mean anything to them. And so it's like a discovery and promise. So the first session is about contracting. It's about getting an understanding of how this is going to work going forward, how many sessions you're going to do, what time, what their agreement to be is, and what they're agreeing to do. And that's mainly just for the promises that they make to themselves, is to try and bring them into their lives. The gap on the second session, we do reflection, and the gap is literally that. How do we get from what you are now, who you are now, where you are now, to where you want to be? And so we spend time discussing that either in a group or in the one-to-one side thing. On the third one, it's going back again, reflecting back. How have they done? What have they done? Celebrating the successes, discussing the challenges that we had. And that's then helps to reinforce mindset changes and identity shifts. And week 3, session 3 is the when things happen, when we see the magic happen, when it suddenly drops in for people. Having said that, it might not drop in until after you finish the coaching side things. And then habit and behavior, which is habits that we have are so easy to fall back on because they're comfortable. We know they work. They may have served you well, really well in the past, but they're not serving you well now. But starting a new habit and a changing your behavior takes practice and it takes time. And when you're in the coaching group or you're in the coaching one-to-one, you have got that additional support because the coaches work collaboratively with you. We don't advise, we don't suggest, we actually give it back because it's about bringing what the carer needs for themselves, not what I need, but it's what they need from there. And then the last one is a reflection and continue your journey. And in that, when we explore what we've done, where we've been, what sort of models really resonated with them and which ones would they continue to do. But what are they going to do to continue this journey? What's their promise to themselves? Then what we're going to do with the journey. So for us, we've got a really beautiful model that we use on the 5th session, which is writing a letter to our future selves. And it's really beautiful. And it's actually quite difficult for carers to do because they have to think about themselves the same way they would think about a friend or a loved one that they care for very much. And we're trying to get them to turn that compassion towards themselves and to write the words of encouragement and motivation. And then the idea is that they will write this, put an address on it, and they will post it back to themselves in 6 months' time. And then they will hopefully get remotivated or at least see where they are and be reminded of what it is they wanted to achieve. Yes, please, Mike. This is a good one. Yeah, I'm about to do that yet. So rather than me waffling on and telling you what our carers have been saying about this is just some quotes. I'll just give you a moment to read through those. Oop. Do you want to go? Thank you. Brilliant. I hope you've had time to read through them. Can you just go back again, Mike, please? Thank you. So they're great, these ones. And the first one that says learning about setting boundaries. I've got a really lovely story of a gentleman who was really not sure about coaching at all. He was, I don't understand this. You're talking soft words at me. And he just said, boundaries to me are a fence or a wall. So it's like, okay, so we had a chat individually and we talked about what a boundary was in compared to what he was doing. And he was still a bit skeptic and we said to him, so how often is it that you do something for somebody else that you don't have the time for, that you haven't got the capacity to think about, and that you are making yourself extremely tired, a bit more overwhelmed, and you do all of that because you're doing it for your wife? How often would you do that for yourself? So if you were to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now, this and this is happening for me. If you want to come back to me when I've got this sorted out, I can help. Have something that you can say. But could you please be kind to yourself? Because when you're kind to yourself, you will be gentler on that. And that's the one thing he fed back afterwards. I'd never been kind to myself, and I found that being kind to myself has made life a lot easier. And on this one there, when you come out feeling confident, alive, really, and hopeful, they're just really wonderful things to look at. A lady once said to us, she gave us a photograph from the building that they were in One was a plant which was dead, just a twig in a pot, and next to it was a rose in a pot, which was fine, and it was flowering. And she said, I can't say what I want to say, but what I can say is this stick is how I came into coaching. This rose is how I'm leaving. So it was very visual, very nicely done from that. So yeah, that's what the feedback was. So that they really do like it. Carers are really engaging in it. Yes, please, Mike. So what I've done here is just because for you, the messages for us is you can't refer in just for coaching for carers, but you would follow your same route that you would do for either signposting a carer to Carer Support West Sussex and getting them to self-refer on the website, or if they're already registered with us, you can signpost again and let them come in to us to speak to a wellbeing worker. The wellbeing worker will have a wellbeing conversation with them, and if coaching is something they're interested in, they can do a very quick internal referral, and then the coaches will come back to them. So it's quite simple. At the moment, we're not taking outside referrals, we're just doing internal referrals or carers that self-refer by booking onto the information sessions. So these are the next information sessions that we've got going on. So next week we've got 3. You'll see that one's in the evening and one's on a Saturday morning. That's because we do have working carers and we want to make sure that we can go in a time for them. And then going forward on Carers' Rights Day, the 21st of November, I didn't just have a hiccup and put the same date 3 times. We do have 3 sessions on Carers' Rights Day, and they're going to be focused on difficult conversations and aiding, giving the carers some models to use if they've got to speak to professionals, or even if it's a family member that they're having to have a difficult conversation with, just some tools of how to prepare for those difficult conversations and how to get a different result if you've been having the same conversation over and over and over again and it's not coming out with anything different. So those are the dates. I can send this out, Mike, you can send the PDF out if that's easier to people to see. And then the next lot, they then potentially feed into the next slide, which is when we've got our group coaching. So there's, lost it. Thank you. So the group coaching, so if they do the information session, they can then book on to some of the group sessions that we've got going, and it will be right across our areas. So it's not just in the south, it's in the south and the north, and we will be going out that during the year. As I said, at each quarter, we will be having 2 face-to-face in the locality, one in the south and the north, and then we'll have 2 lots of online as well. And from the back of that, we also have the one-to-one coaching. So that's the way we're going. Again, you'll see that some are in the evening and some will be on a Saturday, and we're just working through that from there, from the side of things. So I think it's over to questions now. Oh no, I did think of some questions for you that actually put ourselves in the shoes of a carer this was. So this was just basically some of the questions. There is no cost to this apart from the fact I do ask for feedback and a survey, and that's their lunch paid for once they've actually taken part in the actual group sessions or the one-to-ones. Each session online and face-to-face is 2 hours, and the one-to-one coaching is an offer of up to 6 sessions, which are 1-hour sessions. We are offering all carers that take part on the group coaching like a little micro session to see if they would like to have one-to-one. And some of them do want one-to-one, but they don't want it straight after. They want a bit of a break, and then they'll come back to us to do that from there. We're really flexible. We completely understand that carers' lives are unpredictable, and so as long as we know that somebody's not going to be turning up or there's going to be an issue, they're going to be late, as long as they tell us, we won't worry about them. There's no homework as such, but there are requests for doing some practicing, if you like, and a lot of that's about noticing how you react, noticing what upsets you, noticing what depletes you and what actually nourishes you, and then that works around that. So it's not as in it's not something you have to sit down. We're not going to test it. We're not going to mark it. It's yours, and the carers can share or they don't share. That's entirely up to them. And it is good if you're doing the sessions to be able to actually commit to each session. That being said, if something comes up, we can always rejig and move around. This is the beauty of the actual contract. We do have a lot of flexibility in that. It's great for the carers. It's a bit of a nightmare for us trying to organise things that are so flexible, but we are getting there with that. So it is a way of making sure we don't want anybody to feel that they wanted to take part in it and feel that they have been unable to get in. So if there's an access problem, if they need somebody to support them, then we're looking at putting that support in place. So that's it really. So that's me. So if you've got any questions, this is what I put to the carers. What do I want after this? I want you all signed up now, and that's to do that. So yeah, that's finished now, Mike. Yeah. Any questions at all, or do you want to do them a bit later on?
Penny, you've got a couple of questions in the chat. Have you got access to the chat?
I do have access to the chat. Thank you. Where are we going? The qualifications. We all did an association of coaching certificate at the very beginning. My coaching qualification goes a long time ago. It was actually called life coaching when I did it. So it's quite an elderly lady now, but that was done through the British School of Yoga. So the British School of Coaching, myself personally, I have a wellbeing coach qualification in that, and also with the new one, which is cognitive behavioral coaching, the way that we apply our coaches. So they're up to date, and we continue to do the CPD. So we're continually upgrading what we know, and our knowledge. It's become very clear that we need to have some more training around trauma-informed coaching. So we're doing that at the same time as doing the delivery. So things that come up from there. So those qualifications will continue to be refreshed and updated as part of our commitment. Tor and Di have both got, Diane's got, she's worked in trauma and she's worked with children. She works for foster care as well as a different role to this, but she does actually do a lot of that. So it's all trauma-informed work, lots of experience in there. And Tor is actually has got a master's in mindfulness and is a mindfulness teacher and practitioner. So there is an element of mindfulness that we bring in just to do some settling at the beginning of the sessions, so that people can park some of their racing minds, if that's possible, before they actually come in. And that is going down so well, and doing this on that side. Yep, so that's the qualifications. Yes, they can. So we have 3 coaches, myself, Di and Tor. We only work Monday to Thursday, but again, we've got that flexibility of moving around for carers if we need to. So that might be, we might work evenings and we might work some Saturday mornings, and we also might work the odd Friday. We've got training and things like that on Friday too. Yes, they can come in. The numbers that we're looking for to give to the lottery are around one-to-one coaching. But the carers that are coming into the group coaching, not 100%, but I would say 75% of them are then signing up to do one-to-one coaching afterwards. But we do have people that have come straight in and asked just for one-to-one, and they are having the one-to-one. And as I say, some of those want to go on and do group coaching once they've got a little bit more confident and want to join in from there. There's no ages. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your caring role is. It doesn't matter where you are in that caring role. We will fit everything around you, because it is very person-centered and the way that we go. So our colleagues refer in, and carers can come in via the information sessions if they want to. Freddie, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Penny. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yes.
Really good presentation. Love the service. Really excited about it. Just wanted to understand where the groups were. Were they? I know you were saying it in your final slide there, but I didn't quite understand it. It felt like most of them were online, but you were talking about some in person.
Yeah, there's they're mainly in person at the moment, because we do 2 in-person 5-week courses. So they will be in our different areas, like Littlehampton or in Worthing or Horsham, Crawley or Mid Sussex. So we're going to be going literally all around. So we're going to be going forward from April. We will have 2 lots of face-to-face within the communities. So one in the north, one in the south. And then we'll also have 2 online ones. And that could be one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or one on a Saturday, or one on an evening, depending on where it goes. So we're hiring the venue and then bringing the carers together in that. And that's been working well, because it's in the locality and it's quite near to where they're living, because it's had a knock on where they've all connected so well during the 5 weeks that they all connect together with their WhatsApp groups and meet for coffee and continue to support each other, because of the connections they've made in the group. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense, but it kind of leads on to a second question I had about re-referrals. We all need a coach in our life at different times in our lives. So how will you think about dealing with that? I know you're only sort of 6 months at this point, so you probably haven't had re-referrals, but it will happen, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. What we have had is we've had people who've had like 2 one-to-one sessions and they're gone, I don't want any more right now. I know what I'm doing. I'm really motivated. I'm going to go off, but can I come back in December just to touch base before I do the action that I'm looking to do? And we've like gone, yes, of course, because you've had the 2 sessions. That's absolutely fine. You can come back. This is for 3 years. And the numbers that we're counting are numbers, they're not actually the individuals. So we don't want too many repeats because we want new carers through. But if somebody works on something and they get a really positive result on what it is they want to achieve, and then they want to come back and look at something else, then we can bring them back in. They will probably be more brought in on a one-to-one basis than back into a group. But if they lovely and flourish in a group, then there's no reason why they can't come into a new group. The group dynamics, if you start with this, we close the group. So once we've got the 10 people in the group, that's it. We're not bringing anybody else in because that will mess up the dynamics of the connections that those carers are making to each other. But if they can't get on that one, then there will be another one that's coming around that they can go into. So they can come more times. What we don't want to do is encourage dependency. We want to enable the carers to feel confident enough that they don't need to come back to us to be reminded. And we will be next year looking at putting an online service on where they can self-coach, where we'll have access to documents that are online, access to some of the models that are there, and then the carers can take their coaching journey further on, and it will be them. Because it's all about enabling people. It's all about reminding them of their strengths and confidence and resilience, and then enabling them to do things for themselves. But if they need to touch base with us, they can.
It's a really helpful answer. Thanks, Penny.
Thank you.
Penny, I think you've got one more.
I've got another one there.
Chat,
I've seen it. Sorry, I'm sorry. I had all my icons over it. Sorry. Do carers have the same coach all the way through the program? If they're doing one-to-one, yes, they will be with the same coach. If it's in the group coaching, it would depend upon our capacity. So there's only 3 of us. So if somebody's off, then somebody has to step in. And that works really well because we've all done the same courses. We're all working from the same song sheet. We spent the first 3 months sorting the program out so we know what we're all delivering. So it does change the dynamics of the group if it's got a different person leading it. That's just because of different styles. But we've found that carers have been really quite flexible about that, and it's not been a negative. It's been almost like a little bit more energy has been put in. So, but if it's face to face, if I was coaching you, I would be coaching the carer for the 6 sessions. And those 6 sessions are the initial ones. If we got to session 6 and they're nearly there, we're not going to say goodbye, because it might just be another session would just mean the difference between them wavering or flying. And so that's how the flexibility comes in. So yeah, they would be on the same one for the one-to-ones, and as much as we can, it will be the same coach that attends the group all the way through for the 5 sessions. Well, the other thing I need to add is we'll also be reviewing. So we're at the moment recruiting volunteers. So we've got a couple of volunteers that are helping out at the group. That's brilliant. And then what we're looking at is for the reviews that need to be done, checking in with carers sort of 6 months further down the line to see if they've continued to do this or have they just forgotten about it or whatever. So we will have a light touch base review that will be done by one of our volunteers, and just a telephone call asking exactly the same questions that we asked at the end of the coaching, so that we can see if there's a difference and where they are. And that's a good point for people to come back in if they've forgotten everything and it's not worked, or they've done something completely different. So that's a good opportunity for the carers to go, oh no, but can I do some again? And if that comes in, they'll be referred back into us as well.
Thanks, Penny. That was a really, really good presentation, and you can relax now.
Can I? When you get a thing saying you're the main attraction. Lovely. Do you mind if I hang around in the background if you don't mind?
No, if you're happy to sort of stay, but that was brilliant, and answering the questions, you had some good questions as well. So yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Right, I'd like to welcome our next guest. We've got Yvonne Hammond-Powell from Tuvida. I've got a soft spot for Tuvida, as I used to have connections with
Hello.
Crossroads years
Didn't
ago.
think I was going to make it. We had an emergency on site. Yeah. So, hello, I'm Yvonne. I'm a service manager from Tuvida. We, as you just said, we used to be called Crossroads Care, and we merged about 6 years ago now, but we're exactly the same here at West Sussex in our little office with all our support staff covering the whole of West Sussex still. And we still hold the contract with West Sussex. There's two parts to our service. The first part is the emergency respite service. So any client, any carer can refer in themselves, or a professional can refer to us for this service. Is that once registered, if the carer is rushed into hospital in an emergency, we would then support the cared for up to 48 hours. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer if it's like on a bank holiday, on a Friday evening. We would support probably up to about 72 hours, just until the offices are all back and running again on the Monday to be able to sort it all out if the carer is going to remain in hospital longer. The idea of that 48 hours is so that when they're registered with us and we do their assessment, we take details of the emergency contact. So when the carer's rushed into hospital, we would liaise with the contacts and look at them arranging their lives. It gives them 48 hours to sort their lives out and come and take over from us after that 48 hours if their carer's going to, remain in hospital. It's a free service. It's subsidised by West Sussex. It's a very good contingency plan. The assessment is done over the phone and it takes about 20 minutes, so it's not very time consuming. Of our service is, apart from also that, we then liaise with PPP, which is used to be called Chichester Care Line, and they would then send out a carer's alert card to that carer that they would keep with them at all times, and it's got the emergency contact details on it for them. Second part of our service is our respite service. Now, this is a paid for service. Again, if they meet the criteria, it can be subsidised by West Sussex. They need to have less than £23,500 in savings. Direct payment with an element of respite in it, which means if they're being supported to go into residential for a week or two's respite a year, and that's funded by West Sussex, they won't dual fund and they won't offer them the subsidised rate. They would then have to pay the private rate. But if they meet all the criterias, then they can have up to 6 hours a week for £8 an hour and one night a week for £10 an hour. And some people have like a Sunday night and a Monday night, so that it manages to give them a 2-day break, and one's classed as 1 week, so that they're getting a good sort of couple of days break. They can also purchase other extra hours from us at £31 an hour, or if they don't meet the criteria, that's how much the private rate is. Apart from that, we've run 2 clubs, one in Chichester on a Tuesday from 10 till 4. It's £45 a day, and that includes a hot 2-course meal, home cooked meal, lots of activities, entertainment, and there's the cared for are supported to give the carer hall in Chichester. And then we have one other club in Horsham. One runs on a Tuesday and one runs on a Wednesday. Both these clubs are at Horden House from 10 till 4. And they're £55 with a 2-course meal, home cooked meal, and lots again of activities and entertainment for them. So anybody who's looking for the clubs, I've got some flyers that I can pop out to you, and also some other information. And we do a short break weekend for early onset dementia twice a year. So that's from 4 o'clock on a Friday till 4 o'clock on a Sunday. The last one we did a couple of 3 weeks ago up in Crawley, and the one before that 6 months ago was down at Hayling Island. And that's a hotel where full activities, bed and breakfast, main meal and evening meal, entertainment and activities are provided for the full 48 hours, and there's a cost involved in that. Again, it's subsidised. It's £175 a person, but it's the whole weekend and it's fully staffed so that the carers can have complete break from their caring role. They can go swimming, they can have sauna, massage. We have an activity that we go out on the Saturday with the carers, and the cared for are in the hotel with the rest of the staff being looked after. So the carers really do get a good break, but they are both there at the same time. So we have information about that. I think the next one will be in June in Arundel. We're planning at Abbotsford Park, but it's not fully confirmed yet. But yeah, so if anybody wants any information on that, I can send the flyers for that as well. So an awful lot of information there to take on board. Has anybody got any information, any questions?
Yvonne, could you just run through how people can refer into your services, or how best to connect with you if they want to support carers to set up some of those connections?
It's a call on our 01903 number.
Sorry, Yvonne,
You
we
can
just lost.
email.
Sorry, Yvonne, we just lost you there. Would you mind starting that bit again? Sorry, thanks.
Yeah, so you can call our office number, and I can't think what it is off the top of my head. I can go and get it in a minute for you. But I know the code is 01243. You can email our West Sussex email address, which is westsussex@tuvida.org. And we can either do the referral straight over the phone with you, or we can email you back the form, or if you send the details of the carer and cared for through, we can then make contact with them.
Great. And I can see a few people would I'm sure appreciate the flyers you mentioned. And when you also talked about the prices, are they available on your website, or is there a way that we could share those with our primary care partners so that they're all aware of when they're just having a chat with carers, they can kind of make them aware? I think Mike might have just sent. Mike, what have you just sent there?
So pop the website into the chat, and that's got the details with the email address and telephone number on there. So.
Yeah, lovely. And if you want me, Mike, to send you the flyers, if you want to distribute it with the whole group, that's fine. I can just pop them through to you.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
I just had a little bit of instant feedback. I've contacted Yvonne on a couple of occasions. Last week was one of those times, Yvonne, a couple in West Chiltington that I was discussing with you.
I'm losing you, Freddie. Sorry.
We're losing you a little bit as well. Is it your signal? Can everyone else hear me?
Yeah, the signal's really bad here.
Well, I'll just say to everybody else how responsive I've found Tuvida. They're one of those very few organisations where the phone line's actually manned and you can speak to someone. It usually is Yvonne, and she provides really useful, timely support. So it's just a bit of feedback, really. I've had some really good support from you over the years. So thanks, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Just to say, Julia's asked, have we got any digital versions of the flyers? But I assume, Yvonne, that what you're going to send will probably be a PDF. It will be via email anyway, won't it? So it'll be a digital version, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So Julia, yes, it will be in digi version, and you can pop that onto your digital boards or print them out. So that sounds good. Fab.
If anybody wants me to come along to any of their meetings, staff meetings, anywhere in West Sussex, and just do a talk to their team, that's fine. I'm quite happy to do that and bring some leaflets along with me as well. Just drop me an email.
Okay, thanks, Yvonne. That was really helpful, and thanks for coming along to our meeting.
Have a good meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hey, I shall now. This went well ahead of time. You'll all get an extra tea break, I think. Just don't tell anyone the meeting's finished. So I'll hand you over to Anna.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yes, so we are going to be well ahead of time today, but that was, I think, really informative to hear about the services that Tuvida offer, and I know they're deeply valued within the community. And also, you know, we've talked to a lot of you about your speaking with carers about contingency planning, and Tuvida are a fantastic resource specifically, like, I mean, generally, but also in particular about that emergency situation when actually a family can't immediately get themselves to be able to support the person that may normally be caring but is now in hospital. So they're a really important resource to be aware of and to connect your carers with, and we've got a very firm relationship with them. So obviously when you refer any carers through to us, that we will make them aware of that service and how to connect with them also. In terms of, I don't have much to say to you guys today. I just wanted to flag with you, Penny mentioned it earlier, we've got Carers' Rights Day coming up on the 21st of November. And as with any big event in the carer calendar of the year, I have put a small resource campaigns pack together for you. Some of it is similar to last year. I'm just going to give you a very quick whistle stop tour of what's in there so that you can, and I'm just going to share my screen, I'm not presenting to it or anything, just so you can see what's inside, so you can think about whether or not you want to use any of those resources in your surgery. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I can see you, Mike. Can you let me know if you can see this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so whenever we do these campaign packs, we just pop them into a Word document for you. And at the top is always, sorry, someone's just coming into the meeting. At the top is always, what does this pack contain? And so what that allows you to do is, if you don't want to read through the wealth of information that we pop into these documents, then you can just literally go to the item that's of particular interest to you. So just to, many of you will know this, you've been involved in this project for nearly a couple of years now, but also just in your wider work. Carers' Rights Day takes place every single year. It's led by national charities and in particular Carers UK, and it's an opportunity for all of us just to take extra steps to identify carers, but also to inform them about their rights. And carers do have a lot of rights, and many of them are unfamiliar with what those are. If you want to have a view on what the rights of carers are, we have actually popped a link through to that. I might not have written it in here yet. We have got that on our website. I'll show you here. Oh, why does it always do this when I try and show you something here? Hold a sec. There we go. So Carers' Rights Day. This is the information. It's within the toolkit for you all, but it also has information on what is Carers' Rights, Carers' Rights Day events, and also has information in there on all sorts of different relevant things, like legal tips for carers' wills, for power of attorney, for contingency planning, for triangle of care. And it goes through step by step on what an individual's carer's rights will be. So that will be in the toolkit for you to click through to, and it's also something that it'll be worth you sharing with your carers. And as part of that, there's a short animation that Carers Support West Sussex have done for Carers' Rights Day this year. It's only 2 minutes in duration. You might want to think about either texting those carers on your register with this link to this YouTube page, or you might want to think about whether or not it's something that you could put onto your digiboard. So I'll quickly, did I share sound? Let me just check. Mike, can you tell me if you can hear sound when I play it?
Whether you're looking after a family member or friend, recognising your rights as an unpaid carer can make all the difference. A carer is anyone who provides unpaid care and support to someone with an illness, disability, mental health condition, or addiction. Here are 7 rights you are entitled to. 1. The right to identify as a carer. Your GP can identify you as a carer on your patient record, which may put you in a priority group for vaccines and other public health campaigns. 2. the right to a carer's assessment. This will offer you support and assistance when caring, which helps make your life that little bit easier. 3. The right to being consulted during hospital discharge. If you are a carer and your cared for is being discharged from hospital, the hospital must identify and consult with you where possible. 4. The right to a free flu jab. Carers in receipt of carer's allowance, or those who are the main carer of an elderly or disabled person, should be offered a free flu jab. 5. The right to unpaid leave from your employment. In 2024, a law was passed giving working carers the legal right to up to 5 days unpaid leave per annum. 6. The right to flexible working. You can ask your employer for changes to your working hours, times of work, or place of work from day one, with the right to amend this twice a year. 7. The right to protection against harassment or discrimination. If you look after an older or disabled person, the law, Equality Act 2010, protects you against direct discrimination or harassment because of your caring responsibilities. Being a carer is a challenging but rewarding role. Knowing your rights can make sure you get the support you need to continue caring with confidence.
Okay, let me just, I'm going to have to stop sharing because otherwise it won't let me stop this. Okay, let me just go back on and stop that. Hold a sec. Right. And I will bring you back on. So I think if nothing else, it might be worth considering just sharing that resource with your staff. It's a really simple way of kind of informing staff to look out for carers on the day and think about what their rights might be. And another couple of resources we've put together around that kind of general staff awareness is an example email that you could send to staff just around the 21st of November, just reminding them of some of the things they could look out for with carers, or the things that you might offer for carers within your surgery, and to take a particular action around that week, just to, you know, with some posters up around your surgery, just to raise awareness of carers in that week. And similarly, we have a staff facing poster, which you will have seen before, I'm sure, because that's not new. But you can just click on the link and it will take you to where that is within the document. So all of these links take you through. That first one there takes you through to the animation I've just described. The second one takes you through to different links that are being offered by Carer Support West Sussex, so that you can be aware of them to inform your carers. We've referred to the care awareness in primary care training, just in case you want to use that opportunity to promote that with your staff on that day. And these are very similar to last year's, which are the example Facebook messages, but those focus on, if you don't know you're a carer, getting in touch with the receptionist there, if you discover you're a carer, and getting in touch with Carer Support West Sussex, and also about being informed about your rights. And that's the post that links through to our rights page on the Carer Support West Sussex. We always put it in everything, but the guidance that comes from NHS England on coding carers, so that you can update your registers appropriately, but that's back in here again. And then we've also included at the bottom here just the general and the flu posters, so that you can decide whether or not you'd like to print any of those out or to add them to your digiboards. Now, in order to get them into this document, we've just copied them in small here, but you can right click and save all of these pictures, and then you can do what you want with them. You can expand them out to A4 size, you can make them digiboards. If you do need any help with that, because I know that not everybody's, you know, some people have more technical challenges than others, then please do just connect with us, and we will do what we can to support you to make sure you can get this information up and available in your surgeries. What we won't include in this, but we will copy alongside, do I have it open? Possibly not. Hold a second. I don't think I have it open. Hold a second and I will just open it for you. This one I'll attach as a PDF, so you can decide whether or not you would like to pop it onto your digiboards, or if you would like to put it onto your notice boards. But this one is actually specifically for this year, and it's just the events that are being held in the north and the south for Carers' Rights Day. There are posters for individual events for the north and for the south, so I'll attach all three of those, and you can decide which one you would like to put up in your surgeries. And just to let you know, there's actually a wealth of other events happening on that day, many of them online, to enable people to be able to engage with them. So please do check out within the little resource pack that we send over to you the events, so that you can just inform your patients about whether or not they're caring. Carers' Rights Day is obviously also an opportunity for you guys to think about if you do want to identify any new carers. So we, if anyone does want to work on a kind of messaging campaign, then please do just let us know, because we can put together all of the text for that kind of opportunity with you as well. In some surgeries, they've gone to all of their registered patients specifically for a targeted opportunity to identify carers in their community, and others have gone to specific registers, like those that might have long-term health conditions, and then asking a question about who looks after them and connecting them with the surgery. So if you've got any interest in taking any of those actions for Carers' Rights Day, please do just get in touch with us and let us know. Okay, I've got one more thing to just share with you, just for information's sake, but does anybody have any questions on what I've just shared there? Nope. Grand. Okay. The only other thing, we wanted to let you know, and I'm going to just bring this up for my own information now, is that we've been out and about doing all sorts of baseline reviews with your individual surgeries, and we're up to over 40 baseline reviews now, and we just wanted to thank you all for engaging with us in the way that you have on that work. Of the over 40 we've reviewed, let me just get it up because I put it in my most recent report to our commissioners. Sorry, I didn't know I'd be talking for this long, so I hadn't put this together, but give me a second. Here we go. So just feedback for you all, that you're doing a fantastic job. We're very grateful for the work that you're doing with us to improve identification and support for carers. And in our most recent report to our commissioners, we were in a position to share with them that, here we go, that we've done 34 reviews of those baseline reviews that we did with you. So that means we get back in touch with you and check in on kind of what improvements are you making, how are you getting on, do you need any further support from us? And all of the surgeries that we've engaged with are making improvements or have intention to make improvement. And so in the last 6 months, 34 of those have made improvements in how they identify and support carers. And some of those are lower levels. So, making some progress around surgery, the literature that's in the surgery, information on the website, at least one person having care awareness training within that surgery. 18 surgeries have made medium level progress, which is characterised as improvements to in surgery carer literature, again, so your notice boards, information on website, a nominated carers lead, creating a defined carers offer, updating your carers register, and making carer training accessible to frontline staff. And 7 have made high progress, which is all of that brilliant stuff that I've just mentioned as well, but also having in place a carer protocol, which is in writing and has been adopted by the surgery, so that it means that if there's any fluctuation or change in staff, that all of that practice will remain in place. So we are very grateful to all of you for the work that you're doing. It's showing you know, real engagement from all of you who have been working with us over the last, all of that is just since last October. So I think that's quite incredible work that's been achieved over the last 11 months. And finally, we've got to the stage where we're just about to order the window stickers on celebrating that success. So we will be in touch with many of you if you would like to have a window sticker and a carers leave badge for the work that you've been doing to engage with us, and just again to raise the profile of carers within your patient community, and for them to know that they can connect with you to ask for that additional support. So just to take the moment as we have it to thank you for that. And does anybody have any last questions? Otherwise, we're going to draw this meeting to a close earlier than we normally would. Any questions from anybody? No? Okay, well, what I do need to do, give me 1 second, is we've been trying to use polls. We always do polls just to keep a connection on how these sessions are going. But various people have been having issues actually accessing our polls of late. So we have just tried to do something a little bit differently today, which is an online form, because I think most of you are able to do that. Let me just get the link for you here.
I've got the link if you want it.
Oh, have you? Oh, I've just done it, I think. So I've just popped that into the into our chat now. It's literally 5 questions. Please do take the time. It'll only take you a couple of minutes. But otherwise, Mike, we didn't know you'd be here at the end of this meeting today. So it has definitely been one of our shorter meetings, but we're very grateful for you guys for joining us. Thank you very much. We diarised the next one, Mike. It'll probably be January, won't it? Yeah, probably be early January, as things get so busy and lots of people take annual leave over December. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Mike, I'll hand back over to you for final thank yous.
Yeah, just to say thank you to everyone for coming along today and for continuing to work with us. As Anna said, it really does make a difference. It keeps Caroline and myself busy, which is good. And yeah, if you can complete the survey, and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Penny.